I'm Justin Six, and this is another vlog. And the lighting might be worse this vlog because I'm doing this later in the day. Today I'm going to talk about this book, as I have promised, I think, throughout the week that I wanted to get this done, and I wanted to talk about this today. And I did finish the book. I've only read it once, which with the other book I read it like a couple times. And I also I asked for feedback a couple vlogs back. I'm not sure exactly when. I asked for it yesterday too. And one of the things that someone told me was they would like for the vlogs on where I talk about the books to be a bit more structured. So I'm actually going to go to and be reading a bit from the book, a bit more, and just go through by that, like the overarching structure of the book and what the book actually teaches. But the gist of the book is basically that it talks about what the title is, Crucial Conversations. And the aim of it is to give you the tools and knowledge to be better equipped to engage in conversation in a way where you're being honest and not sugarcoating things necessarily, but you're not offending people and you're still getting, you're having healthier dialogue and as a result, healthier relationships, whether that be at work, in friendships, in your romantic life, whatever it is. And they have so many acronyms in this book. It's ridiculous. I'll go to the thing now. Almost every chapter they have an acronym. They have STATE, which is share your facts, tell your story, ask for others' paths, talk tentatively and encourage testing. They have AMP, which is AMPP, which is ask, mirror, paraphrase, prime, which is to explore others' paths. And they just have so many. But they're useful and they make sense. Like the one that the one that I said first, STATE, the idea behind that is basically to make sure that that the way you talk about it makes sense and isn't just coming from an emotional place and is super biased. That's why you first share the facts. And then you tell your version of the story, your story, how you feel basically. And then you ask for other people's paths, which just means you're looking for their opinion. And then talk tentatively means basically a big concept in this book is safety. And it means safety in the sense that if people don't feel safe to share their opinion, then dialogue can't happen properly because then what this book also refers to is silence or violence. And there's many ways these things are expressed. I'm sure you've been given the silent treatment at some point or have given it to someone. Or I'm sure also you have raised your voice at someone or someone has raised their voice at you. Those are basically the two big examples of silence or violence. And the problem with that, or just walking away is silence. And the problem with that is then the information and the dialogue doesn't properly happen. And you don't even really know what the other person wants and they don't know what you want. And what this book also talks about is getting shared meaning. So realizing what you actually want instead of letting your emotions drive you towards an ego-based goal of being right, which we oftentimes get caught in just wanting to be right. So it talks about realizing what you actually want, which oftentimes is to have a better relationship with the person that you're having the crucial conversation with. Make sure you understand what they want and then try and build a mutual goal, even if your goals are very different. The only way a conversation can really be had that's productive is if you find some common ground. You find an angle to go at it where you're both looking for the same thing in some way. Which if you pull back everything, pretty much everyone wants the same thing. Even if you go into something super heated like politics, the underlying reasons for why a Republican, for example, is pro-gun are the same reasons basically that a Democrat are anti-gun. And what I mean by that is simply the Republican that is pro-gun believes that being pro-gun is the correct thing for the safety of them, for the safety of their family. It's the thing that makes sense, And for the Democrats, they believe the exact same thing. And even though the reasons and the things that bring them to that conclusion are different, the underlying reason is pretty much always the same because we're all human. We all have the same basic needs and desires. So even when you go to super heated topics where we have very different opinions, there's always some sort of common ground, even though sometimes it's hard to find it. So that's a big point in the book as well, just finding shared meaning for your crucial conversations. There's also a little, like, at the very end of the book, there's like online resources. And one of those things is the conversations model, which I'll put on the screen and I'll link in the description if you want to look at that, which I think it's pretty good. It has a big circle that says silence. In the very middle, it says pool of shared meaning, which the whole idea of that is that you want to make it safe so that the other person shares their side of the story and it goes into the pool of meaning, and you share your side of everything in a way that isn't you just trying to win and be right, and that in a way that isn't overly aggressive or sarcastic, in a way that it actually reaches the pool of meaning and the other person actually hears you and doesn't just ignore you, or like they hear you but they don't actually listen to you, you know? So yeah, this book is really good. It was a bit harder for me to go into, simply because it's very niche. It talks about one specific thing and that's what you get. So it's not some riveting tale, but I think it's a useful book for pretty much anyone to read. There was some joke, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was by the authors, because at the very end they say, like, they each write something as a, like, goodbye. Okay, here it is. I've said for years that crucial conversations are only applicable if you live or work with or near other people. So basically the idea is you need these skills if you interact with other people in any way, because we all have those, like, moments in life where we have very important conversations, and it's not just about one crucial conversation with one person. The, like, many conversations you have with the person over time are a big part of what makes up that relationship. So if you have better conversations and more productive conversations, then you can have better relationships with people around you. And also just with the heated, like, nature of places like America and, like, the political climate, with people being so hateful towards each other, like, I lean more towards the left, but I wouldn't consider myself a Democrat. I'm more, like, central, but I don't hate either side. Like, and I just think it's sad that, like, the worst thing about the Trump election for me wasn't that Trump got elected. I didn't like Hillary either. It was just how much hate there was on both sides. So I feel like part of that is that we just don't know how to have proper conversations anymore. And this book is about how to have better conversations. So I can definitely recommend it. I got a lot of value out of it. Hopefully my explanation of it also gives you some kind of value. If it did, be sure to let me know. If it didn't, be sure to let me know. Give me some feedback down in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I'll have another vlog tomorrow, and I'll actually have my next game out tomorrow as well. So I've been working really hard on that all day. That's why it's kind of dark and the lighting's worse. And I'm also kind of like, so yeah. Goodbye.